Hey Jeff, just want to say thank you for posting your video. I thought it was really interesting. I know for me, I don't always find stuff about informatics and electronic databases and electronic medical topics that always that interesting, but I actually thought this one was really interesting. I thought the speaker had some really good ideas and was definitely interested in hearing more about his ideas. So just kind of overall, I guess I didn't know that that each institution houses all this data for years and years and years that seems to never get used or be used. So I was really surprised by that. I had no idea that even occurred. So that was a learning point for me. So kind of in regards to your questions, I just kind of kept thinking about that in my mind, like, oh my gosh, every doctor's office and related to every institution I've ever been at has this data on me that I would be more than willing to contribute to research, but nobody has ever asked me, would you mind if your data goes towards medical research? So I just kind of kept that in my mind the whole time while watching the video and then listening to your summary and kind of thinking about the questions that you posed. So in your very first question, should institutions and hospitals and organizations be forced to open their databases for extraction and mining for research purposes only? I think yes, without a doubt. There is some caveats to that though. I think it has to be very strictly regulated for medical research purposes only, and by research that is, I don't want to say necessarily federally funded, but from good organizations that are going to provide thorough and quality research. I don't want my data out there, and not that I have a significant medical history at all, but I really don't want my data out there going towards things that are written in blogs and on Facebook Live and stuff like that. So I think it has to be very regulated. The other part that I also wonder is, I wonder if we did force institutions and organizations to open up their data, what would be the difference and how would it pose, what challenges would be posed in looking at public institutions versus private and privately funded institutions that are all donor based. And so I wonder how that would be different. That if it would be easier to force, federally funded public healthcare systems versus private. So I think that would also play a big part in it. And to your second question, do you think extracting data infringes on personal privacy? My immediate response is no, absolutely not. But I also think that there has to be a level of what each person is willing to share. I know this is a very simple thought about it, but if, say I had data about A, B, and C in my personal history, say I was okay with sharing A and B parts of my medical history, but not C. I think that has to be respected because that is my personal privacy, and that's my right to say, I don't really want that part to it. I know me personally, I would care less to have any of my medical records or my medical or past medical history shared with whoever, but I would want to keep, my name, my birthday, my medical record numbers, private. So things couldn't be tracked, but I could care less. And I don't feel like it infringes on my privacy to share what my weight is and what my height is and what my past medical history is. So I think there's a fine line. I think people if they're willing to share their data to research, we have to respect, or I guess the research group has to respect that they have the right to say, I don't want to share this part, even if it is something that may change and may kind of, form another picture versus how the research would look. I still think that they would have to respect that privacy because ultimately this is my data or this is whoever's data and it's our right to share that in whatever way, shape, or form we would like. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Great video.